Well, we don't really know what we're doing, but.
It's the cream of the crop. I have no idea what I'm looking at. Go ahead and feel fury. Go ahead.
It's okay, bud.
Woo! So sometimes we don't wear our safety glasses to show you that you should be wearing your safety glasses. Oh yeah, brother. The cream always rises to the top. Let's get back to work.
Hey guys, Dave and Dustin from UMI Performance down here at the race shop, building on our C10. We got a lot of stuff to cover this episode. We got interior, floor pan, transmission going in, all the wiring, just a ton of components. We got a short timeline left and we got places to be. What do you think?
I think we're gonna have to burn the midnight oil and get this thing done.
Yeah, let's get to it.
So before we can throw this T56 up underneath the truck, we need to do a little bit of floor pan work.
So here I'm center punching all the spots that we designated. We're gonna drill holes. We're gonna weld the back panel and we're gonna bolt in the front panel so it's easily removable.
So we took this level 7 transmission tunnel and laid it out on the factory floor. And then we traced around it with a paint marker so that we knew where the panel was gonna go. But I just took a pneumatic sawzall, was able to get in there and get a line started and just like butter cut all the way around it and in one shot did it all. It's pretty simple.
So this larger tunnel gives us a lot of accommodation for that T56 or any transmission we want to put in here, whether it's 4L80, a lot of guys are using. And the carpet works great with this because you just buy a factory carpet for a 4x4 truck because they already have a humped up tunnel, piece of cake, everything works great together.
For the record, I am not a professional welder, and every once in a while you just have to reset your tungsten into the metal and stick it fast just to make sure it's still working right. So you may or may not see 1 or 3 of those. Watch me stick it. It's like the wiggle it to get it out. Right there.
So now that we got the floor all buttoned up, back all welded in, front easily unboltable in case we need to service anything, lined everything with kill mat, keep the sound and also the heat out of the cab. Looks really good.
So now we're going to throw this awesome T56 transmission in from TIC. They also supplied us with the bell housing for a GTO. And it already had the dowels and everything in it to bolt up to the back of our 427. So just a matter of lifting it up there and sliding it in. As we were putting the transmission up into this truck, you can see Dimitri, who always skips leg day, we let him do the pumping of the jack because he needs more of a workout down low.
So after we got the transmission all installed in the truck, we took some measurements for the drive shaft. We had one locally made. They've done a couple for us. They do a real nice job. Painted up gold, green for the money, gold for the honeys. So should look pretty cool in there and pretty stout. Should take a lot of power. So now we got the drive line all together, trans in there, we got the drive shaft made. Now the exhausting part of the job, watching Dustin build the exhaust. So a real good option for these trucks if you're doing an LS swap is Speed Engineering, makes a great LS swap header, very reasonably priced. And we also went with their exhaust setup. Sounds really good in this truck. Had to be tweaked a little bit. Dustin will tell us a little bit how we put it together.
Yeah, whenever we were putting the exhaust up, I mean, obviously the back half went okay. It's pretty well straight, but getting the headers attached through the cross member was a little exhausting, but we ended up getting a couple little pie cuts in it and getting it to go through and not rub on anything. So maybe something we'll fix here in the future, maybe get a new product out, but as of right now, we got it to work, and it looks and sounds great.
So we got a little exhaust help from our buddy Larry. Now that Dustin went through all his tungstens and had no more allotment this week, Larry finished up welding these and put down some dimes.
I mean, he did do okay on the intake piping, so we figured he could do crappy on the bottom side of the truck.
Don't ever ask again.
Let me introduce you to wiring. And wiring with Dave. Because Dustin doesn't do wiring very well.
No.
Take it away, Dave.
If you want a car burnt down, Dustin's your guy.
I'm your man.
If you want it to fire and work, I could probably help out.
I am the fire. The car's on fire, not working. You are fire the car and make it work.
Yeah, that's true. So as you probably already know, this truck has just a ton of wiring. A lot of electrical components. We got fans, we got electric brake booster, the Holley, we got all the radio stuff. I like to start with a sheet of ABS and build kind of a control panel. I did one in the engine bay. I also did one under the passenger seat. So all the electronic components that are in the cab, I wired up in the passenger seat, everything else under the engine bay. Everything looks nice and tidy.
Knowing that there is a lot of wiring in this truck, Dave really took a lot of time to route it certain ways and put it where it needed to go so that you couldn't really see a lot of it, even though you knew there was a lot of it there. Just make it real nice and tidy. Our goal with the engine bay here was just sleek and try and hide as much stuff as we could without having to completely run wire loom everywhere and all that. So Dave did a real good job. So this is pretty much the highlight of my wiring career. I was able to help strip the ends off and put a couple butt connectors on, so Dave could use the heat gun and shrink wrap it. So yeah, pretty decent at it, you know. Took me a couple times to get it to cut the end off straight, but we'll get there.
Yeah, you did a great job, bud.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start running the main ECU harness here into the engine. Really nice with the Holley high rise to be able to kind of tuck some of the injector wires and whatnot underneath the TIC intercooler. So after we get all the wires ran, get them all tucked and hidden away, it's actually cleans up the engine bay pretty nice.
So basically, I like to think of an LS harness like a top and a bottom. So you got injectors and everything, all your throttle body components, everything up top, and then down on the bottom, the tough to get to stuff. Crank sensor, you got knock sensors on both sides. On the back passenger head, we also have the fitting for our temperature sensor to run our fans. So that stuff's a little more challenging to get to, as you can see, but everything hides in there real nice.
Nice thing about the harness too is everything, as far as like the length of the wires and everything, we're pretty well spot on. Everything kind of just fell into place, and we were able to reroute a couple little things here and there, and even use a jumper harness if we needed to, and that was for what, the alternator?
Yes. Yeah.
Use a jumper harness for the alternator just to get a little bit extra length on there. But all in all, the harness was pretty well plug and play.
Yep, common place that a lot of these trucks put their ECU is either under the dash. In our case, we went under the seat, so a little bit more length, but just enough to get it done.
So now we get to do some real nice, fun and comfy stuff. We get to move into the interior. And the interior on this truck is absolutely phenomenal from TMI. Between the seats, the dash, the door panels, all the stuff it just comes together real nice. Everything looks beautiful. So we gotta get the old stuff out first. And then we'll probably throw some Dakota Digital gauges in there, maybe a little vintage air, and then top it off with some retro sound radio. If anybody's in the market, we actually have some really nice interior parts for a factory 79 C10. Got a real nice dash pad, some door panels, and steering column, steering wheel. So hit us up, UMI Performance, and see if you're the first person to get some of it.
Yep, holler at your boy. It's for sale. It's
not on sale. That's why we work well together, boys. We know that we're gonna do some vintage air in this truck, so we're gonna get rid of the old air conditioning unit and get that big boat anchor out from behind the dash and get everything cleaned up underneath, because we got wiring to go in, speakers to go in, Dakota Digital go in. We're gonna end up putting some of that stuff in, taking it back out, making sure everything fits right before we do the final install.
Dustin, you forgot the steering column.
How could I forget the main part where you grab a hold and steer the truck?
It's pretty important.
Yeah. So we put a real nice I Did It steering column in this truck. Everything fit in, everything wired in, plugged in, went right in. It's actually a really nice piece to use.
Yeah, kind of scary pulling all that out, installing a brand new column, want everything to wire up right and everything line up right, but it was a piece of cake.
Yeah, worked out really well.
Make sure you tape everything off so you don't scratch it, because we are kind of,
animals.
Yeah.
Well,
we don't really know what we're doing, but we make it look like we do.
Yeah, look good.
47,000 miles.
So we teamed up again with Dakota Digital, running a HDX setup in this truck. Really cool, gives you all the parameters from the Holley. You could run a BIM module, which is what we did in this case. Pro tip, you cannot run a GPS module with that Holley module.
Sit it on the table and talk till it tell four. Read some old little letters right up to the breakdown. Yeah, I've been sitting alone, figured up now. I think I put the wrong screws in the frickin' dash today. Dump them all out before I throw them all away.
Nothing like singing a little Randy Travis while you're working, Wasn't too bad to install. There's a couple little brackets that you have to get lined up and squared away. So it was in and out a few different times, but as far as the wiring goes, it's plug and play. There's like 3 wires on this thing.
He wouldn't know anything about the wiring.
So the picture said so.
Yeah, it's a little more complicated than that, but really easy. Has a central box. We located that up under the dash. You're gonna run all your turn signal wires. You're gonna run your sending unit wiring, some odds and ends, feeds depending on what gauges you want to work that might not be picked up by the Holley, but all in all, really easy to wire and use.
Door panels.
TMI.
My buddy is a DJ. Do you know what his son's name is?
What is it?
Eric. Well, there's a dad joke, and we got plenty of them.
So now we're installing the TMI interior door panels, critical part. So door panel, very easy to hang, but critical you get the tabbies installed in the right location. There's 3 on each bottom, comes with a template. I actually didn't use the template and I used witness marks to actually put grease on the back of there and then show me where I wanted to drill it. Worked great. You gotta be just super careful with the tabbies. Ask me how I know, but it's in there and it's perfect now.
Perfect. So a really nice feature about this truck is it actually had electric door locks.
Yeah, it had electric door locks.
Yep. So we did a really, really nice conversion of door lock delete. We didn't want to cut an extra hole in the door panel and ruin it for any reason. So we were going to relocate the electric door locks. That location is still to be determined. So we took a really nice electric door lock truck and turned it manual. As you can see here, Dave's working on that door lock and also ruining a pair of his shorts sitting on the kill mat.
Pro tip here, any chance I get, I put grease on the back of something if I need to figure out where it needs to go. Rather than measuring, I don't know how to work a tape measure very well either. So put a little grease on the back of that little trim panel, dropped it on there, gave me my locations I need to drill that door panel, mint.
So I'm busy over under the truck. Dave's taking his fancy DeWalt drill by himself and popping holes in this $1,000 door panel and holding it with his leg with a hope and a dream that it's not going to move and kick out and ruin the door panel.
Professional.
So it's pretty good. Pretty professional. It's a little,
Needs a little wipe off, but yeah.
little wipe off. You got it?
I think that will work.
Yeah, you're crushing this. Let go.
So basically what's happening is we're trying to install this door panel and Dave is slicing my finger off with the opener handle where my finger was in there, and basically it cut it off and you didn't care at all.
Another pro tip, just do it yourself because it's easier. And the guy will be there like just crying in your ear the whole time. You could hear it. So, you know, take that for what it is.
My fingers hurt.
The front's wood. I gotta go. Yeah, it's crushing me. So push it out.
Going on finally now. Last time.
So we got with Mike over at Slosh Tubs. He did our inner fenders, some other panels up front, awesome stuff. He also does custom speaker boxes. So told him exactly what we wanted, what components we wanted to run, what we were running with retro sound, and he fixed us up with a box that just fits in there like a glove.
Sure does.
Yeah.
Thanks again for TMI, who sent a bunch of extra material over that matches our seats.
Yep. And
me and Dave kind of tackled it together. We got the old Harbor Freight spray gun with some glue and glued everything down and rolled it all on. And honestly, for first time doing it, it wasn't too bad. Just make sure we made enough like relief cuts for everything to kind of roll into place. Yeah, overall, I'm happy with what we did, and you know, everyone can always use improvement, but
yeah,
I'd say we did all right.
Really, interior work is an art. Those guys that really know how to do it, they're worth every penny. We did what I thought was a pretty decent job and really fits the bill and worked out well.
Yeah, we are not worth every penny.
Yeah. We're free, so we're still worth every penny paid.
That's true. Yeah. Go ahead and feel free. Go ahead and feel free to comment down below on what we did wrong or how we can improve on our next box. Got it that time.
That was great.
So we ended up getting some auto custom carpet for this C10. It's for the 4-wheel drive because we used a larger tunnel. It went in with some minor trimming. We were able to get a nice color that, you know, fit with the truck and put it in there. So prior to putting this in the truck, we had it laying out in the sun for a little bit because whenever it comes in the box, everything's all kind of folded up and creased. Another thing you can do, you can get a suit steamer, and when you lay everything out, you can steam everything up and get it up and tucked in real nice. Also, whenever you're getting ready to bolt your seats in, one of the pro tips that I found helped was you take a punch and a pick. If you have a buddy, you can have him, Dave, my buddy, go in from the underside with a pick through like the seatbelt hole, and that gives you a reference on where the hole is underneath the carpet. And then we just took a pair of vice grips and a punch and heated the punch up, and then basically melted the carpet down through. And that way, whenever you put your bolts in and everything like that, the fibers of the carpet don't wrap around and pull the carpet apart. So just kind of a pro tip there. Seemed to work really well. I've done it before in my personal car, so hopefully that helps.
So underneath the passenger seat, that's where we cut out the hole in the actual floorboard. We're gonna run all the wiring through. Bought a bulkhead online. Everything fit through there real nice. All of our speaker wiring ran up there as well, all of our power wire, grounding wire.
Obviously, me and Dave have this subwoofer box all wrapped up with the interior leather, and you can see right here how real nice it slides back in and just kind of plops into place and doesn't move.
Yeah, fits like a glove. Once again, we got that from Slosh Tubs. They do an awesome job. They'll make you whatever you want. Really cool people to deal with and great for the C10 community.
Thanks, Mike.
The seatbelt, just send it, don't matter if it threads.
Oh, this thread.
So now we got most of the interior buttoned up. We're gonna have something comfortable to sit on now. So we're gonna install these seats. Check those out, they are badass. So now the interior is basically buttoned up. We got seats in, sub box, we got most of the retro sound components, all the speakers wired in. We're gonna, finish the air conditioning up. Now we're gonna install all the wiring, get that vintage air wired up, all the retro sound wired up, and Dakota Digital, everything behind the dash before we plug those gauges in and button that up. Yet another pro tip. You're gonna wrap some tape around the wire and connect that up to a piece of TIG wire. Run that up through the carpet. Works really well. Doesn't really get snagged. Curve the end over so you don't get stuck anywhere. Does the job.
Yeah, nice rigid piece of wire to run under the carpet. Wires. I hate wires. I have no idea what I'm looking at. See if you got a brake light?
Yes.
What? Both of them?
Yep.
Let me go.
So if we want to talk about the wiring on the truck, we can break it down into two components. Basically what I accomplished and then what Dustin accomplished. You can see here he's super excited that he got the brake lights to work. And big accomplishment, you did that all on your own. I'm proud of you.
You know what I had to do? Plug them in.
Yeah, it was great.
Because it plugged right in.
It's the little wins sometimes.
The light on each fender around the side.
Yeah, just fine.
Turn signal?
Around the side. Is there a light?
Oh, no.
That one's not on.
About this side? That side's not hooked up. Low beams?
Did they change for you?
It's just a cutoff.
Ah, plugged in the right wire. All right, yeah. So what are these guys? Turn signal in the rear. There you go.
Yeah, it's flashing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the others?
Up front, we're good.
So we ended up getting an off-the-shelf low-car shifter for the truck. After we got the seats and everything in and the positioning of length of the shifter and the position of the shifter, we thought, you know, here at UMI Performance, what do? We make parts. So we designed and come up with our own shifter for the T56, and we threw it in there.
Yeah, gives the right reach, just where we want it to be. Works great with the console. Doesn't touch anything. You know, gives you good range of motion. That low carb was just too far down. You know, wasn't going to work too well for most of us.
You say you're going to the fuse box? Just anywhere-ish? Yeah.
So you'll see under there, there's one on the left-hand side. I think it's at the bottom.
Ignition.
It says ignition, where you could just plug a spade. So you probably hear here, I mentioned to Dustin about a ignition source wire on the factory fuse box. There's actually a spade on there. Works perfect for your trigger wire for a lot of your components like the ABS, temperature sensor up front, everything that we need a trigger to. I ran that one wire all the way up there to that bus bar and comes in clutch. Looks factory and is, you know, put there for a reason, so we used it.
Yep, got it. We're in.
So we're getting close on the wiring. Here you can see I'm putting together basically a sub panel, which is going to be located under the seat. That's going to have all of our wiring for the stereo equipment, also another fuse box for anything on the interior we're going to run. And it's also going to have our BIM modules that run the Dakota Digital dash.
So there's definitely a lot of wiring going into the inside of this truck. And again, Dave did a good job on cleaning everything up, tidying everything up, and making sure everything had its own line to plug in on that ABS panel. Mm-hmm. So good job again, Dave.
Yeah, I was tired of wiring at this point, but if you mess one of these little things up, that's critical. Thing ain't gonna work. Truck's not gonna fire.
I was tired of wiring too. Those connector to get the brake lights to work really.
Yeah, you struggled for a little bit getting that brake thing to just, oh, boom, there's brake lights.
Yep, there was.
Yeah.
So between the transmission going in, the exhaust, all the wiring for the truck, the interior, everything all buttoned up, coming together, I think the truck really turned out great.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Everything's coming together like we thought it would. Make sure to stick around for our next episode. We're gonna have our grand finale episode. Make sure you leave any questions or comments down in the comment section and stick with us for the next one.
What do you think about tire smoke?
It will probably do it. I think so.
We should get around in first.
Yeah, we probably gotta start there.